And we're live. What's up, everyone? We got another incredible guest joining us here today, Rafaela Orlando. Rafaela has over a decade of experience in the beauty industry and is the founder of a coaching program called Booked Out Beauty Boss Academy. And that gives beauty professionals exponential growth that they've been looking for. Rafaela is a true veteran in this space, and she's going to be sharing a wealth of insights and actionable strategies that she normally shares with her exclusive group members. We'll be diving into critical importance of having the right mindset as an entrepreneur, as well as key business building blocks needed to create a thriving, sustainable business. A quick word from our sponsors, haha. Finance for individuals and businesses all began with a vision, a community where like minded individuals could gather on social media to share their passions, experience, and knowledge for a brighter future. Our mission is simple: to foster growth, development, and keep pushing everyone forward. We believe everyone has the potential to succeed, and we're here to support that journey. Join our community of leaders and visionaries as we learn, grow, and build a brighter future together. For those on YouTube and other platforms, this is originally a Facebook group, and we're going to be keeping it here. Join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/finance for individuals and businesses. We'll see you there. Whether you're a seasoned business pro or just starting out, I know Rafaela's advice is going to provide immense value. We're covering everything from overcoming common mindset obstacles to streamlining your operations, driving consistent revenue, and positioning yourself as an authority in your niche. All right, no more script, back to reality. Now let's get Rafaela on the line. Rafaela, welcome to the show. We're thrilled to have you here. How you doing?
Good, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got to this point, how you got into the beauty industry?
Well, I've always loved the beauty industry, loved makeup and doing all my friends' makeup growing up, but I never thought that it was something that I could actually turn into a business and make money off of it. I was like, people really make money painting people's faces for a living. I never really thought that was a thing. And, moving to America as an immigrant, the American dream as we perceived it was working in corporate America, having a desk job. So that was my big thing was oh, I want to have a corporate America job. And when I finally got one, I was like, this is horrible. Why would anybody want to do this for, a long time? So I was like, you know what? I don't know what I want to do or what I'm going to do, but I am going to figure it out. I promised myself that I was going to make it happen. So I quit my corporate America job. I actually went into real estate first. I got my real estate license and did real estate for a couple years, did super well. But then I was like, this is great. It's still not what I really want to do. And I always kept going back to the beauty industry, but I was really scared I lost you there for a second. There you go. I was really scared to leave because again, I didn't think I could happen, not good enough and can't really make money doing this. And then I was like, you know what? If I want to be happy in my professional life, I have to go figure this out and do what I love. If I don't jump in and try it or do it, I'm gonna regret this. So I did. I, hung up my real estate license. I had taken taken classes in 2011 and, gotten a little bit of experience, but stopped. So finally 2016, 2017, I went all in, quit my real estate job, went back to bartending so I could build up a clientele and started my business out of my house.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And the studio that you're in, that's where you usually have a lot of your virtual meetings and everything.
Yes. Yeah. So now, I'm kind of on the other side of things. I started out, doing makeup as a makeup artist, my business out of my house. And then I quickly was able to grow a clientele. And after about a year, I opened up my first studio. Once I opened up my first studio, I realized, oh crap, Lana, I actually have to know how to run a business. Okay, great. I've got clients. I know how to do makeup. I'm confident in that. But it was like, oh man, now I have to actually know how to run a business and have consistent clientele. So that's when I came to that realization. I was like, if I want to do this long term, I started investing in education, other coaching programs, investing in experts that knew what they were doing, as far as like marketing, business, and knowing how to get leads and all about sales and all of that good stuff. And I tailored it to my industry. And I got so busy that I actually had to hire a booking manager to help
Mhm.
me. I had so many leads come in. I was like glued to my phone 24 hours a day. And then I
Right.
started building a team and hiring other artists to work on my team. And that's when people started asking, like, hey Rafa, how are you doing this, how are you growing your business? And naturally, I'm an open book, I love to teach, so I started just teaching people like for free, like the other artists on my team, a lot of a couple of them that had started with me, like that started their own makeup business. And I
Right.
realized like I was like really passionate about that. So I kind of, that's where my journey with the coaching program portion of it started. And now, since I no longer do makeup, but I still like to have all my studios. I still love makeup and beauty stuff. So this is my office for where I do all my Zoom meetings with my students.
Hell yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, I know you and I have talked a lot about business and a lot of other just so many different aspects of business. Um, but this time we're concentrating on mindset and like operational excellence and things that really set the foundation so you can scale and build your brand and be known better in the community, especially mindset whenever you kind of first start out. I know in your program, mindset is something you hit pretty hard on. You want to go into the detail because I know you have a module.
Yes, that's actually like the intro part of my program. Like it's the first thing that I go into. And
Hmm.
it's not just like a course like they go online and watch. They have my support. They do sessions with me as well. Because that's really the beginning. Like we have to first shift our mindset. If I can sit there and I can teach you all the strategies in the world on how to do the things, but if you don't have that mindset and if you don't truly like start believing in yourself and shifting your mindset, like you can actually do this, because it is no joke that every single day you're going to want to give up most of the time in the beginning. And that's why most 99% of people don't make it as like a business owner or entrepreneur, is because they just give up so easy.
That's
Give up
true.
super easy. So that's really the hard part, is like staying consistent and putting in the work without seeing the progress, because you're not going to see progress for a little bit in the beginning, for a while sometimes, and you just have to
Right.
continue to believe it. So that's where that mindset comes in, where you have to be like, no, it's a bad week, it's a bad month, it's a bad year, but I'm going to keep pushing through, because if that's what you really want to do, and that's your passion, and that's, you want to make a career doing this, you have to think that way. You have to know,
Yeah.
like, okay, it's a bad day, but this is not permanent. I'm gonna push through it. Let me find a solution. Like you run into an obstacle, you have to, stop thinking about that and worry about, okay, how can I fix this? How can I push forward? So that was something that I struggled with for in the beginning for a very long time. So I didn't even know anything about this. I was like, mindset? Oh, okay, yeah. I would give up so easy, I would give up super easy. I'd be like super upset if things didn't work out for a week. And then I started building up that tolerance, where now it's like, oh, I'm having a bad month. It's all good. Like next month's going to be better. Like I push through it. So with that experience and that knowledge, I know how to help my students, because, most of them are so discouraged. But when
Hmm.
I talk about this, I'm like, trust me, this is you're gonna be okay. This is like the first thing we talk about. It's, I have like a mindful prep exercise inside the intro, like creating a vision, for creating your goals, like being clear on where you want to go or what you want to do with your beauty business, so that when you're clear, where you're gonna go. You know how to. It's easier to get there.
Right. For sure. There's a lot of different aspects, especially when you're first starting out. There's a handful of things that even I struggled with, trying to find the right community. Because whenever I first started out, I was just my friends that I would talk to, and they didn't have the same mindset. They were just W-2 employees or hourly employees or salary employees, and they didn't want to ever, scroll or get anything else outside of that. They were just staying inside the box. Um, and then I started reaching out to people that were similar to me, and I found that a lot of them are kind of still stuck in the same bubble. And don't get me wrong, I want to learn from those people, talk to them, network with them, but at the same time, you don't learn as much from those people as you do from someone who already went through it. So I started reaching out to people that were a whole lot successful. I went to the very top of the mountain. I started reaching out to a whole lot of other people to get ideas, things I'm working on, things I'm doing, and just be I was completely transparent with my process. I was completely transparent with even the things that I thought I was going to keep secret for a long time. And it turns out that just sharing stuff actually helped me more than anything else, especially with people that were much, much greater than me. And I mean, I'm not like a social media guy, influencer, or anything like that, and I don't want to be, but it's just I have to do certain aspects to do things that I want to do, and that includes being on social media. And yeah, there's a huge network of people that you can easily reach out to, and you'd be surprised with how many people will actually help you whenever you're forthright and transparent and honest. It really, really goes a long way.
Yeah. No, no, I absolutely agree. No, but and that's another thing too. It's like when you start a business, you think like your friends and family are going to support you, and but a lot of time, most of the time, I will say like they don't understand your vision. They think you're crazy. They think you're delusional. They don't support you, and that could be discouraging. Like I was very lucky. My husband's extremely supportive. He was the one that pushed me to do this in the first place. He's also a business owner, so he gets it. But most people don't, and that's another thing you've got to get over. You know, you've got to get over the fact that everybody's not going to support you. And your family and friends are probably not your target clientele anyway. So you really can't expect them to buy from you. Like that's not, you got to find your people. So yeah, in the beginning, like you get discouraged too because you think the people that were going to support you the most, they just don't understand your vision, and that's okay. You just have to come to terms with the fact that it's your vision, it's where you want to go, it's your own journey. Like nobody else is going to understand it. People might think you're delusional. Well, that's okay. And that's when like my mindset also started like opening up a little bit more and realizing like how possible it is to actually to do the things that I wanted to do, to like make real money in my business. I joined a coaching program that, it was like it's like a 5-figure coaching program, and the people that are in this program are people like the kind of conversations that they're having. Like we had like a whole private community. It was like, hey guys, I just spent like $1 million on ads in the last 2 months, and I'm making this much. And to them, like $10,000 a month is like pocket change to these people, which is that's when
Right.
it really opened up my mind, like how possible it is. Some people can't even fathom making those amounts of money a month, but it's cool because it really starts to open up like what you believe, like what the possibilities are. Like, no, you can do this. Like, look, so many people have it, and then you see stories of people who started from like literally absolutely nothing, or sometimes with like zero experience, and you see like their journey. So it's really cool to have a community or be part of a community of other people who are super supportive, who have been there and who are doing so much and who are so successful. That was really insightful, that was really helpful, that really opened up my mind to the possibilities, realizing, oh my god, like yeah, I can absolutely do this.
Yeah, for sure. There's this Yeah, I've had a lot of mentors over the years. There's a mentor that I had. He's actually I'd still consider him a mentor, a very good friend. His name is Scott Hunt. But
Mhm.
long time ago, whenever I was in my early 20s, I was in corporate America at the time, and I was, really tired of um, staying towards the bottom half of the hierarchy, not really having much say and all that stuff. So I was just trying to learn. I didn't have money for school or anything. So he was like, he said, Six Sigma, look into Six Sigma. Six Sigma is just pretty much business methodology and like process creation and stuff like that. So anyway, I went and dove headfirst into it. I didn't know how hard it was going to be, and I failed miserably. It's like on a 1,600 point scale, I got like a 400. So I had a rude awakening real quick to find out that I didn't know anything as much as I thought I did, of course. So whenever you're young, you just think you know everything, and you find out real quick you don't. But I took that test, and that's when I found out I didn't know anything. And then that was whenever I started my education journey. Again, I just again didn't have money, but I just kept paying a bunch of small amounts for like small workshops, certification courses, even something as simple as advanced Word, advanced Excel. Just being able to use the tools that I had and being able to use them more efficiently and teach people around me so they can work more efficiently. But yeah, having a mentor just can really change your mindset, especially whenever they've been successful, proven they're successful. It's just really, really makes a difference.
Yeah, no, 100%. It puts you like years ahead of the competition because like you don't know what you don't know until like you know. So you can sit there and try to do it yourself, but that's you're gonna bump your head so much, and when you invest in education, like the right education and learn from the right people, it's like, man, it puts you years ahead of like anybody else.
Mhm.
So when I opened up my studio, like after a year after opening up my studio, I made like my first $10,000 month. It was crazy. I didn't even think that was gonna be possible even in the beauty industry, like doing makeup. And I remember it was like a November or something of 2019. I was so busy working that I didn't even realize it. But it was like halfway through November, and I was looking at my sales reports on Square or something, and I saw like 7,000 something change. I was like, whoa, like, oh my God, like I made this much money this month. This is crazy. And by the end of the month, I had hit $10,000 before, like my first for the very first time. And that was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is actually possible.
That's
So
so awesome.
that's what was really cool. And then that's why what's really cool is when I teach other students, when I started my coaching program, I was like, I know what's possible, and I know it's possible for you too, because I started from like nothing. Like I had zero experience. My skills weren't the best. I did makeup on my friends, but I hadn't, done makeup professionally yet. I wasn't world's
Mhm.
best makeup artist. I never did celebrity makeup, none of that. So um, being able to achieve that, that was such a cool feeling, and it's like knowing what's possible. So when I quit, I decided to actually pursue um, starting a coaching program. I went from having built a beauty business. I opened up my first studio, then I was able to expand to a bigger studio, and then a year later, my last studio was like a 2,200 square foot studio. I went from having built a business for years in the beauty industry and having a clientele and making money with that and building a team, to then going from that to back to zero, starting all over from scratch to start my coaching program, because that was going to be a different clientele. I was no longer going to do B2C where I was, working, looking for makeup leads or makeup clients. I was now targeting makeup artists and beauty industry professionals that wanted to grow their business.
Right.
So I literally started from scratch. And what helped me was investing in education in a coaching program that helped me how to do this, how to go through this process. And that was back in 2021, where I started the Booked Out Beauty Boss Academy.
Mhm.
And I remember my very first student, she paid me $500. And she was a makeup artist out in LA. And she was like making like barely anything, like honest, like probably less than she was charging like $200 a day for an 8-hour job, for a production job, which is insane. Like that's so low, to charging $1,000 a day. And after 2 months um, working with me 101, she made her first $10,000 month. So
Damn.
she sent me a screenshot. I remember she's like, look at this. And this was like barely the end of the month. It was like there's still a week left in the month. She had made like $8,064. Um,
I want to point this out real quick to people that are listening and viewers, but Rafaela, it took you what, 2 years to get your first 10,000 month?
yeah, Yeah.
So it this is the power of a coach, the power of a mentor when they already have a proven system, it's there, and they're transposing it to you and allowing you to use that. The value, it's just, yeah, there's just so much value there. And then hitting 10,000 within 60 days, that's pretty crazy. That's
It
awesome. Good
it
for
was
you guys.
It was crazy because, she had been a makeup artist for 10 years, and she there was just one of the main things that was missing for her was, like, she was great at what she did, she was an amazing makeup artist, it was the confidence, was the
Yeah,
number one thing that was holding her back. What A lot of other things too, like, sales process and just knowing how to price herself, probably all the other things, but the main
right.
thing that we worked through in the beginning was her confidence. So you could see such a change from, like, the first day that we started working together to like the 60th day where like 2 months came up, and we did like a case study, and she's like, oh yeah, now she's charging like $1,000 a day, and she made like $10,000 in within those 60 days, which was absolutely insane. So she was then, you could see the change, like how confident she was. And she told me, she's like, Rafa, those $500 I paid you, that was like my very last $500 that I had left, that my last hope in trying to, get some help. So she was like, I am so thankful that this,
Damn,
she's like, that was like all the money I had to invest. Like now I charge $3,000 for my one-on-one coaching program. So she was my very first student who got in at $500, and she was like, that was my last $500 that I had.
yeah,
So
damn.
that was that was just really cool stories, and that's, like, really validated,
What you're doing, yeah,
help, others to achieve, their dreams, to be able to, turn whatever they love to do, like, passion in the beauty industry, into, actually making a living with it.
for sure. About coaches, I want to hit on that one more time. What coach do you think helped you the most, or what
Um
mentor?
I mean, I over the years, I've invested in like so many different programs, courses. Like I have honestly lost track, but like the very first coaching program that I joined was Den Henry, guy named Den Henry. It's called Digital Millionaire Coaching. That was a program that I joined. It's no longer available. Like you can't get into it anymore.
Hmm.
But that's where it really opened up my eyes. That's for the possibilities, and that's where I learned a lot of the skills and strategies that I then was able to tailor it to my business and launching my program. I mean, and then that's when I started discovering, other mentors and people out there who are super successful, who are always giving out great advice, or they have courses like Alex Ramosi,
Hmm.
all the people that are out there that are doing it or that have done it. That's when I started being able to, okay, I can listen to these people, and stuff about this mindset, like Tony Robbins, or just there's so many great ones out there. And that's like the only people I follow on social media, like on my
Yeah,
Instagram, most of the people that I follow, because I want to see on my timeline all this positive stuff that's gonna be good for me to soak in. And I'm
right.
just, because I use social media for business. Like people think I love like I do not like being on social media. I'm gonna be honest. Like that's not I don't enjoy it very much to
Same.
be on there all the time. But in this day and age, if you want to, help people, and you want to um get leads, or you have to be on social media. That's where everybody is.
Yeah,
So, and people get really burned out with that too.
yeah. It's definitely not for everyone, just like starting a business.
Yeah, for sure. No, it is. It's one of the things that I even that's one of the big things I talk to my students too. Is like, every guru and their nowadays is like trying to hammer this into everybody's head, like you have to post all day every day, or you're never going to make it. And that's not true. That's I 100% disagree with that. It's like I actually have a student who joined my program like two months ago, and her business has grown insanely, and she has barely been posting on social media, and she was freaking out in the beginning because she's like, shouldn't I be posting on social media? What about reels? What about this? I'm like, we're gonna get there. There's strategies for everything, but listen,
Yeah.
there's a whole other thing that we need to go into first before you even start worrying about social media, and all these other things that we were doing that didn't even involve social media got her a ton of clients. So I'm like, you don't have to burn yourself out on social media. If you love being on social media and it's your thing, that's awesome. Like, double down on that. But if it's not, you don't have to kill yourself or burn yourself out just trying to be on social media 24 hours a day. There's
Yeah.
so many other things you can do to get leads, honestly.
What are a couple of the things that you see right now, or maybe you used to do for leads, especially for like individual contractors? I know like it's going to be industry specific. I know it's going to be based on your demographics, where your clients are, and things that you're going to be catering to. But what real source do you think is the future besides social media?
Besides social media, I mean, I don't th it's funny because it's like not I don't feel like it's the future, it's almost like the past. Um, what I'm seeing and what I'm realizing, at least like myself, is that everything is so revolved around social media nowadays that I think a lot of people are really missing that face-to-face interaction. So I like a lot of the things that I teach my students that I talk about is like, you need to get out of your comfort zone a little bit, and you need to, go out and meet people in person sometimes, like networking events, or go, for example, if they're makeup artists and they do bridal makeup, like go out and go talk to the event coordinators at country clubs, luxury hotels, the concierge, go connect with those people, because
Right, right.
people do business with people that they connect and vibe with. So, besides, if you're taking social media out of the equation, there's a million things you can do
Yeah,
to get yourself out there. And I feel like it's kind of like going back to the basics, like the old school way of talking to people, and you can still kind of utilize social media by, not social media, but like going online and looking for these places, and then maybe connecting with them on social media, and then going in person and meeting up with them, and that sort of thing, if that makes
yep,
sense.
yep. I do that quite a bit. That's actually how we met. We met on social media and then met up in person. But yeah, no, social media is definitely a huge tool. But I do agree. I think like in-person networking, or at least handshaking face to face, is still going to be very dominant, close to social media, especially for like long-term customers, because it's more of a relationship built. Because what is it like in order to sell someone and keep them forever, they have to love, trust, and respect you.
Yeah, no,
It's just,
100%. I feel like a lot of the strategies people are teaching on social media right now is just like get rich quick kind of thing, do this,
yep,
and here's all these tricks to get as many people to buy your course or whatever as possible. And it's like, that's not really going to build you a long lasting, long term business. When people become like, when people trust you and they become like almost like your raving fan, like they do the advertising for you, they trust you, so they're going to trust to recommend you to their friends and to anybody else. So
right,
on Facebook groups, these people will tag you, they'll recommend you. So when you make that connection, and it sometimes it doesn't even necessarily have to be in person, it could be like over like a quick Zoom or something, or
right, right,
for coffee. And here's the thing, like my niche specifically, they're service providers, right? Which means that they need to target their local market. And that's something that kind of go over a lot of people's heads. They're so worried about social media and going viral, when those people are not even going to buy from you. If you're a local service provider, you need to dominate your local immediate market, because those are going to be the people that are going to buy from you. So you want to build a reputation in that market, so
right.
that you can become the go-to expert for your thing in your market, because those are the people who are going to buy from you.
Yeah. The Whenever I first kind of started building a website, I know this is kind of off topic, but I'll bring us back to topic, I promise. But when I started first building a website, I was so built on trying to go national and like do this big thing, but turns out like if you can snag just one city that's
Mhm.
close to you, that could easily last you the rest of your life. So if you can master one city or put all your efforts into one city, it would definitely change things. And that's what I started to do, and that's what I still try and do. I mean, obviously, I got clients nationwide, but I definitely prefer to deal with local people just because you're also going to have that relationship, go out networking with them, see them, all that good stuff.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I mean, once you put all your efforts and focus into like your immediate local market, it
Yep.
naturally it'll start to expand because you'll like get known in that area for your thing, and naturally like it'll get bigger and bigger. But
Hmm.
like you said, and that's what I always, you know, tell my students, like focus on, pick an area, focus on that, focus
Yep.
on dominating your local market, because that those are the people who are gonna buy from you.
Yep. And then there was this guy, I'll always remember it was a conversation at it was like a happy hour. And he obviously, he's had whatever company for like 20 plus years. And he was the host of the networking event. And I was talking to him, asking him questions about like longevity things to do that are different. And he was just like, honestly, man, most people think too much about meeting as many people as possible. In the beginning, you should really find maybe 5 to 10 people and put all your effort into them. And kind of a little more context, we were mainly talking about like being able to provide resources and help someone outside of our normal product or services because obviously in order to build a relationship it's just not a exchange, take this dollar, okay, now give me the dollar back, okay, now take this dollar, now give me the dollar back kind of thing. You're still there to help them grow, and it's not like you make the sale and leave kind of thing. That's kind of where your business model falls apart. um, so it's just been interesting to hear all the different aspects, and that's when I really started changing and concentrating on a couple different people, and then start kind of branching out from there, just to really help people excel in whatever they're doing. But yeah, taking it
Mhm.
taking out like the whole masses and just concentrating on a smaller group was definitely eye opening. Um, but we also, I wanted to bug you about the modules that you have. Do you mind going through the modules on with your coaching program? Because it's almost like a checklist. Whenever I heard you speak about it recently, it's it's exactly a checklist, almost for a business plan template, and pretty much a starter handbook for almost any entrepreneur, in most industries is what it would could easily translate to.
Yeah.
Um,
For sure. Yeah, and that's, what you just talked about is a huge part of my program. Like, that's why I say like you have to be willing to put in the work without seeing the results at first, because for you to organically build rapport and connection with people and for them to trust you, that's time consuming. That takes time. You have to be willing to want to actually help people and provide value and build that connection. There's people are not going to buy from you the first day they meet you. They don't even know you. Like
right,
who you, right? So that you had to figure out even if you guys are a good fit in the first place. So yeah, it's time consuming, but it's really what makes the difference between somebody that's going to just make a quick buck by
right,
selling like a quick product, or just building a long lasting connection with a client for life. But yeah, I definitely can go over the modules and my program. And it's funny because I specialize in the beauty industry, because that's like been what I have experience in, but a lot of the strategies that I teach could really be applied to, like you said, a lot of different industries. And it's funny because I actually have a client that like owns a demolition company. He's in my one-on-one coaching program, and this
hmm,
has nothing to do with the beauty industry, but he had been watching my stuff on social media and on my stories, and he was always watching my stuff, and he's been watching my stuff for like 6 to 8 months, and then fine, and like he had never said a word to me, and one day he replied to one of my stories, and he was like, "Hey Rafa, I think you're the right person to help me." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, I started this demolition company 2 years ago. I just don't know how to get clients. I'm like, "Okay, what are your struggles?" And then I was like, "Okay, well, let's get on a call and let's see. Tell me what exactly you're struggling with to see if it's something I could even help you with. Because if it is, then I'm willing to help you. But if it's not, then maybe I could refer you." So I was like, "If you're looking for a marketing agency, then that's not me. I'm going to teach you how to do this stuff yourself, tailored to you." So he's like, "No, that's exactly what I'm looking for." So
Hmm.
he ended up joining my 101, and he's one of my clients, and he's doing super well. So um, that's
That's awesome.
it's interesting,
That's
but yeah,
awesome.
I'm just pulling up my, course here. Okay, so the intro to the course, so of course there's a course online, but that's not, I don't just say like, "Here, log in and watch this course." Like the first thing people do when they join my membership, I have a monthly membership now. I've closed my 101 for the season. I only open it up like 3 times a year because I really, the people that I work with 101, I really spend my time to really make sure that they're getting the support and the help that they need. So now I do have a monthly membership program, but as soon as they sign up for that, they get a 101 with me where we pretty much put a strategy together tailored for that specific person, their business, and where they want to get to. And then I'm like, "Okay, now go learn how to implement these strategies. Come on the coaching calls every month, and then go watch the lessons so you can learn how to implement the strategies that we put together for you so you can get to where you want to get."
Right.
Okay, with the intro, I have, setting up your schedule for the program. It's kind of like the first thing that I have on here. So I think that's one of the things that people also struggle with. Like maybe they'll join a program or whatever it is, but they don't even, they're like, "Oh, I'm busy today, I'm busy tomorrow, I'll start tomorrow." And then they never start, right? So
Yep.
setting up a schedule for the program, super important, so that you actually commit to, "Okay, this is when I'm going to have time." It doesn't matter if it's 30 minutes a day or 2 hours a day, but put together a schedule and stick with it.
Yep.
Shift your mindset for ultimate success. That's something else I have in the intro. So pretty much the intro is like, shift your mindset for ultimate success. I have a student mindful prep exercise that I put together. It's like little
Hmm.
affirmations and things that you say to yourself every day to kind of help you just like stay on course with trying to stay positive about your
For sure.
journey.
And
Um,
that's not just needed in the very beginning. That's also needed at different points throughout your roller coaster of being a business owner and entrepreneur.
Oh yeah, forever. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't even matter how successful you are. You all That's something that needs to become like second nature when you're like doubting yourself or second guessing or having a bad day, to like kind of snap yourself out of it and be like, "I just
Yep.
gotta keep going." Be inspired to motivate yourself. That's another um lesson in here in this intro module. Creating your vision and game plan for execution. So that's kind of where we go through, there's a whole lesson in like, "Okay, where do you want to go? How much money do you need to make to get to where you want to go?" So it's like, "Okay, so how much are you charging? So then how many clients do you need? So then how many people do you need to talk to, or leads you need to get for your business?" So it's kind of like gives them a real tangible number that,
Expectation
yeah,
marker. Yeah.
so that they know where they need to get. And that I also have like a whole worksheet on like breaking down the numbers, because I feel like that really helps them realize that it is super achievable. Like, hey, you want to make this much money and it seems like impossible, but when you actually break it down and you charge what you should be charging, then it's sometimes it's like peanuts that you don't,
Yep.
that it's like, "Hey, this is actually pretty easy. You can achieve this if you put your mind to it and do the work."
Yeah, for sure.
And like module one is like setting up the biz and setting up your business and creating. an existence. So, and this is stuff that is time consuming that a lot of people don't do. Setting up your researching and choosing a business name, putting processes in place like business policies, building a foundation for visibility, building your Google My Business profile, like registering your business, building a website, showing up on Google, putting yourself on all the platforms out there that are relevant to your industry, all the things to create an existence. Because let's say like you're kind of just starting out and you have zero online presence with anything, and then you're out there trying to get clients, and these clients are like looking you up and you have nothing, you have no reviews, you have no presence, they're going to be like, you're a scammer. Like you're trying to,
Yeah. Yeah.
like who are you, like where's your stuff, you don't really have anything to show. So yeah, in the beginning, like, yeah, you might get referrals and that's great, but if you're looking to take yourself to the next level and like actually grow like a business and do this full time, like you really need to take the time to set all this stuff up, start getting
Right.
reviews, so that when you do start to market yourself, people have stuff to look you up on. Otherwise they're gonna be like, you're a scammer. I'm
Yeah.
not giving you any money. Like, um, and then module 2 is aligning yourself to your dream client. So I call this the client alignment approach. Um, and this is super important because like not every client is going to be for you, and that's okay. And you
Hmm.
need to figure out like what type of client is going to be like really your ideal client, and how to, so you can then build your marketing around attracting those ideal clients. Because if you're just like marketing to everybody, you're really like, nobody's really going to vibe with you or connect with you, because it really is about the person. Like if you think about it, you probably never purchased anything from somebody or booked a service with somebody that you just didn't like that person as a person, or you just was like that, you didn't vibe with them, right? Like you
Right.
probably never walked into a barber shop where the person that did your hair was super rude and then you went back or something, right? Like you barely just
Right.
didn't really connect with them. So that's why I say that's super important to, figure out so that your clients could connect with you through your marketing.
Yep.
Um, Building a U brand, brand identity, a dream client avatar, getting clear on who you serve, revamping all your platforms to streamline with your ideal client. So again, just when you do figure that out, how do you put that into words and put it out there so that your ideal clients could kind of get a glimpse or an idea of like who you serve.
Hmm.
um, Pain points and why your solution is better than anyone else's, like why, how to make yourself like help you stand out. And then I go into like module 3 starts like, pricing yourself, how to know what to charge, like sticking to your guns on prices. A lot of people don't have the confidence to say no when, and how to handle that when people ask you for a discount, or, when it comes to objections. Like I have email scripts and templates on how to overcome objections when somebody says you're out of their budget, or just making sure, because a lot of people, they're great, especially artists or people who are in the beauty industry. It's like they are artistic, right? So they're
Hmm.
great at doing the thing, doing makeup, doing lashes, doing nails, doing hair, but most of them aren't good at, the business side of things, because they got into this industry because they love doing makeup or they love doing hair. So
Yep.
most of
Yep.
them are like, I don't know anything about business. Like, why do I need to know this stuff? But it's like, well, do you want to make money doing the thing that you love, or do you want to go back to your 9 to 5? Like, which one do you rather do? Do you want to learn how to run a business and make money, which you kind of, it sounds like it sucks, or do you want to? But then you get to make money doing what you love to do, or do
Right.
you rather go back to a 9 to 5 and still have a job that you hate, and you're working for somebody else, right?
Yeah.
And making somebody else money. So like you pick
Yeah.
what's the best, better out of the two.
Yep.
Uh,
And still cutting hair for someone else, and
exactly.
still, like, it's still gonna be, you're still gonna be doing the same thing except just slightly less responsibilities.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. So that's all the modules. And then there's module 4, slay the sales game, like you slay them faces. That's what I call it. Like why honing in your skills is the missing puzzle piece to your, what is this? To your marketing business success, like how to handle the "you're out of my budget" objection. Now we talked about sales and objection handling,
Yep.
what to do after a client has booked you and paid their retainer. So it's like a whole thing on, content creation, social media secrets and strategies, how to write an IG bio, how to leverage Chat GPT in your makeup business, turning followers into buyers, Instagram resources, Facebook organic marketing, so many things like scaling your makeup business. When they're ready for that, that's creating multiple streams of income, how to build and grow a team, hiring and training your first assistant, networking with other industry pros, opening up your first studio, multiple streams of income. So all this stuff,
Yep.
it's so important because, like I said, a lot of the people in the beauty industry, they don't know even how to close a lead. Like they'll maybe start getting some leads, but then what do you do with those leads?
Yep.
How do you get to book them? They don't know how to close a sale. Um,
A handful of them still don't even have like calendars and stuff like that.
yeah, I mean, and that's the fastest way for you to really burn your reputation, because in the beginning you might think like, "Oh, I don't need any of this stuff. Like I don't have any clients. Like I'm just starting out." And it's like, yeah, but you really should start off with something and have a little bit of a process in place when you do start getting busy. And that's like part of the mindset. You should already be believing that you are going to get busy,
Yep.
and you're going to be so successful that you're going to need to have a process in place, or you're not running around like a chicken with your head cut off, because that is exactly what's going to happen. Once you do start getting busy, you're going to drive yourself insane because you never had a process, and now you're forgetting times, and you don't remember who paid you a retainer or not, and somebody, maybe then you got to go look at your bank account and say, "Oh, who zelled me? I'm taking Zell." Like if you're a professional and you want people to take you as a professional and you want to be respected, like you need to have your stuff together.
Yeah.
Beginning,
There,
take yourself seriously.
a lot of a lot of people say something along the lines of you won't be successful until you commit yourself. Like you have to be 100 or 110% or whatever. Whatever the number is, you have to give 200% or you won't be successful. And this is like kind of a prime example of committing yourself to be successful, because in the very beginning, like just like you said, it's not like, oh, I got 5 clients and I've been successful without it so far. Like that's kind of where it starts. You keep not doing anything to sustain your business long term. You have no CRM. You're not following up. You're not making any like ongoing connections, networking. You're not doing extra customer service to go above and beyond. There's just so many different things that make you not stand out anymore.
Yeah, no, exactly. And when you don't have any of these processes in place, you can't really build a sustainable long-term business. Like if you're serious about wanting to make like this a long-term business and actually make money and quit your 9 to 5, this is the stuff that you need to do. And guess what? It doesn't mean you have to do all this stuff forever, all the marketing, all the content. Guess what? If you learn how to do this stuff yourself in the beginning, then when you have a budget, you could pay somebody else to do it. So you can outsource. And here's the thing, nobody can BS you or take your money or scam you out of your money, because you're going to know if they're full of crap or not, right?
Hmm.
You're going to be able to hire the right person, because a lot of people in the beginning, they were like, "Oh yeah, I just want to throw money at the problem. Like I can't get leads. I don't know how to get clients. I don't know how to do this." Then they try to pay somebody to do it. And the person, like, it's not what they wanted, or the person just didn't even
Yep.
give them any results. So it's like, when you don't know, it's like taking your car to the mechanic. You just have to hope and pray that the person that's fixing your car is honest and is not going to scam you out of your money, because you don't know anything about cars,
Yep.
right? But if you did know the basics, then you would have saved yourself a lot of money and stress, and you would have been able to go directly to hire the right person, because maybe a mechanic is not even what you needed. Maybe it's something completely different that you could have
Yep.
just gone and invest in that. So a lot of times you end up losing, just wasting your money or wasting your time.
Yep.
That's why I say learn how to do this stuff yourself in the beginning, so that you can outsource it later. But in the beginning, it's like you have to do this if that's what you want. If you want to be successful, and you want to be able to, you know,
Yeah.
do make your business work, then
For
you just
sure.
of your comfort zone and like make it happen.
Yeah. And kind of, I'm going to say, I can't say, I can't remember exactly kind of when it started, but I was in project management for a long time. And the thing with project managers, they work on projects and they move on. They work on projects and they move on. But a core piece of project management is business continuity. So after you're done doing the project, but you're during that project time, you were creating processes, you were developing the standard operating procedures, you were outlining everything so you could have this playbook and hand it to anyone and they could do the same exact thing that you were doing. And that's pretty much just a handoff. And kind of like on a side note, there's a lot of business owners that I come across that want to sell their business eventually or something like that. And most of them, I tell them you're never going to be able to because you can't remove yourself from your business. You have too much control. You're doing too much. You're never handing anything off. You're never documenting anything. You don't even have a CRM or, there's so many different issues that you come across out there. But I mean, it really comes down to doing the work and knowing that what needs to get done and how it needs to get done. But you're right, like bringing on people to take care of those things for you to, save you time, save you money. That's just you're going to have to be able to teach it yourself unless you already have a superstar who's going to be doing that for you. But then again, you still have to know because that's your superstar. You're going to need to know, how he does at least a little bit of his job, just so you know that he's capable. That's just no nobody walks in being a superstar eight and staying a superstar from day one. There's always a learning curve. Um, and sometimes you're right about people, sometimes you're not. Recruiting is definitely very tricky. Um, but operational stuff, um, I was curious because so I know the beauty industry with people, the lifetime customer value is pretty high,
Mhm.
especially for beauty professionals because you could have the same person like once a quarter, maybe even once a month, maybe if you're really lucky, once every couple weeks. Um, that would be, but that lifetime value of that customer is worth so much to so many of these hairdressers, barbers, whatever, MUA, all the people in the beauty industry. Just a revolving door of business.
Yeah.
Um, there's definitely a lot out there that I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. That's exactly it. That all goes back to like your ideal client and attracting your ideal client. Because, like, for example, like my mother in law, she lives here in Texas now, but before she moved to Texas, she lived in Seattle. She went to the same nail salon, same lady for over 20 years. Okay, 20,
Wow.
that's just one example, okay, and for example, like makeup, like you put makeup on one day, the next day it's off, so if you wanna
Yeah.
get, it's not like it's permanent, so you get your makeup done once, like, and you love the way that person does your makeup and you trust them to do your makeup, guess what? That's gonna be your makeup artist for however long you need, makeup services, which is usually for, a really long time, like, for example, like moms go, I'm just going to take you through a little journey real quick. When you do, for example, bridal makeup, right? When you do somebody's wedding makeup, first, maybe they have a bridal shower. So, bam, you're getting paid there. Then they come to you to do a bridal trial. It's where they get to preview the makeup for their wedding. Bam, that's another thing right there. Maybe they even hire you for a rehearsal dinner. Bam, bridal portraits. Bam. Then the actual wedding day, not only do you do the bride's makeup, usually you do the bride, you do the mother of the bride, you do the whole wedding party, all the bridesmaids, right? Bam. And
Hmm.
then bride goes off to her honeymoon and then she comes back and next thing you know she's pregnant, so then bam, maternity pictures, newborn pictures, and family pictures. So for years, and I've seen that journey like through
Yep.
with a lot of clients, and that's with, when you get lashes done, you got to come back and like redo them. When you get your haircut, you got to go back and get your haircut, and that's the biggest, that's so huge. Like when you find your person that does the thing that you go get done the way that you like it, you never want to leave them. Some
Yep.
people will drive out of the way like an hour or even hours. Some people will fly in their person.
Yep.
I mean, so if you really think about it, that's why being able to um, distinguish yourself to attract like your ideal client is so powerful, because that person is going to be a customer for life when it's the right fit and they love you. They're like they're never going to want to let go of you.
Yeah. It definitely makes a really big difference.
For
Definitely
sure.
makes a really big difference. Yeah, it's this conversation has definitely been good. It's always good talking business with you. Um, but yeah, on I mean, in the beauty industry, probably after like maybe 5 to 10 years, what do you think is usually like the harder thing that beauty professionals are running into? Do you think it's because they kind of got lax? They kind of got a little too comfortable. Maybe the landscape in the beauty industry is slightly changing. What do you see as issues for veteran beauty professionals?
I mean, I see this all the time. A lot of the veteran makeup artists, if they haven't made a career for themselves in like a specific niche, like maybe they become the go-to person for something, and they haven't really, maybe not built a team or whatever. They're just freelancing solo, and that's all. That's all they've been doing. They haven't put a plan together to um, scale or have multiple streams of income. They're discouraged, they're unmotivated because they're just sick and tired of just doing makeup all the time. And now and they're just doing it to make the money, and it's almost like it's taking the fun out of it, because the art part of it is getting taken out at that
Yep,
point. You're no longer like passionate about what you do. You're just tired, sick, and burned out, and you're not keeping up with the trends, because maybe like the style that you love to do is one certain style, but then maybe what's coming up now is like all the younger girls, they like something, they have their trends. But there's always going to be people that like what you do, maybe people that
yep,
are older clients, that maybe the younger girls are going to hire, the new cool young trendy makeup artist, and that's cool. Those are not your clients. But people get all in their head about it, and they don't have a plan in place. They haven't thought about how to step out of doing faces, and because that's not the only way for you to make money as a makeup artist. You can launch digital products, courses, 101s. You can build a team. You can teach makeup classes. You can do so many things,
right.
that those are things you need to start thinking about, like what's your exit strategy, or like where do you want to go, because you can't do makeup when you're like 100. I mean, technically you can, but like if you've got arthritis, you're over there trying to
You
like put
you
makeup
got
in, it's
you got
not.
to go on vacation at some point.
Yeah, like there's so many things to think about. So I think the people that are just kind of get stuck and they don't progress, they're just like very stubborn.
Hmm.
um they end up fizzling out, just getting so burned out that they they never really progress.
Yep. Yeah. It's uh It's definitely frustrating whenever you feel like you're not progressing, but you really have to do something drastically different in order to really change your trajectory. My Whenever I was 15, my doctor told me this thing that I'll always remember, and it's if you want to know what the next year of your life is going to be like, average out the last two. So historically, it's just pretty much talking about historical performance to project your next year. And you could do this with almost anything, but if you evaluate your life and where it's going or where your business is going the last 2 years, it's going to go the same direction if nothing changes. So it just got to be drastic. And even Tony Robbins talks a lot about uh, change and what's it called? He called massive action is what he calls it. You just have to take massive action, and whether that's going to a gym to rebuild your confidence, because confidence can easily be man-made, woman-made, whatever you want to say, but the gym is a huge booster. Maybe getting up, stretching, just doing something different, and staying on that routine, because over time, your self-respect and self-worth will increase naturally because you're stacking up of everything that you're doing over and over and over, and it's just building your confidence. So when you actually have a day off, you're just like, I just did all this stuff. Why can't I just keep going? And then you'll snap. It's a whole lot easier to like snap out of it whenever you can look back and see, like, most recently, I've been doing all this stuff. I'm just going to keep going because I don't care about today because it's nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
It's just, yeah, but there's a lot of different levels to it, but building that confidence is definitely going to be a game changer for people who haven't really had that level of confidence or anything like that. It definitely changes things, and it's not like a cockiness thing. It's definitely a confident thing where that's coming from. And obviously, there's a line. Some people get a little cocky, showboaty, but that might be in line with their personality, or what they're trying to portray, like Conor McGregor. I guarantee he's not that crazy in real life. Don't get me wrong, he's got a crazy side. You're not a professional fighter, and you don't fight on that level without being at least a little bit
Little nuts.
delusional.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, sure. It's like part of his persona. It's almost like he steps into that persona, like his alter ego in a little bit in a way once he's it and it's like I read or watched something where somebody was talking about like how this guy like when he puts on his cue to let his brain know that he's switching from like whatever he was doing into like work mode or whatever to his alter ego is like putting on his like golf glove or something like that.
yep,
And like maybe like it's like you're stepping into your alter ego. Sometimes people need that to give them that confidence or to like have
yep,
their brains like switch so that they know okay now it's game time like
yep,
let's get it done. And yeah, that's a huge thing, like the confidence part, because like I said from the beginning, like you can teach all the things, but if somebody's like not confident, then they're not going to take the action because
yep,
it's really the boring consistency on doing the basics and the things that work that are
hmm,
going to get you the results that in the beginning it's going to feel like you're not making any progress.
yep,
You just haven't done it enough to reap the results because you've given up, because you're discouraged, because you're not confident, and you're just like you're just like doubting yourself. Like have you ever seen somebody that like is just really bad at something, but they are still believe in themselves so much that they just go hard. They think they're like really great at what they're doing and they're not. They're bad, but they just believe in themselves and they're
yep,
so confident that they just get it done. They go
yep,
out and do it. They don't care if people are making fun of them, if they suck. They go out and do it. And that's kind of like the mindset we all need to adapt in a way. Because in the beginning, like when you're starting something out, like you're gonna suck at it. You just have to be willing to suck
yep,
until you get good at it. And that's how you become successful. You just fail, fail, fail until you succeed. But most people just fail, 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 and then they just give up.
fail fast, fail forward.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, I'm sure we could talk for another couple hours, but we just hit this hour mark. But I know we're definitely going to have you on again in the future. I am definitely looking forward and hearing about the rest of your journey over the next couple of years. But obviously, we know each other on a personal level, so we'll definitely still keep in touch. But yeah, it's you want to tell them where they could follow you or where they could reach out to you if they have any questions, just want to connect. You're also here in the DFW area, which is awesome.
I am, yeah. So I'm pretty active on Instagram. So my Instagram is Rafa, the letter D as in Delta, Orlando, and on Facebook, Rafaela Orlando also. So pretty much Instagram and Facebook is where I'm the most active. That's where you can connect with me. I'm a chatty Cathy, so I love to chat with people. So yeah.
Yeah. Rafa's a great person to talk to. It's never really a boring conversation. It's always a lot more productive than really anything else. It's not a it's a constructive conversation. It always is. But anyway, I really appreciate you having on. Thank you for your time, as
Yeah,
always.
sure. Thanks
Um,
for having me on.
Yeah, for sure. It was awesome. Definitely provided a lot of value to a lot of people. We had, a handful of people who stayed on live with us for a while. So that's awesome. Um, but yeah, that's it.
All
That's it.
right.
We're gonna get out of here.
All
Thanks,
right.
thanks again, Rafa.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
everyone.
All right. Bye.
Bye.